You can also get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for Midnight's Edge in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for Midnight's Edge in the morning.
Greetings and good morning, everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge in the morning. Brought to you by my wits. We have Scribe Light here. How you doing, Scribe?
Doing all right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
We also have Chris Brawley of Bleeding Fool News. How you doing?
Good day, sirs. Good day. Very glad to be here.
We may have a Paul Chato showing up at some point here if he knows how to check X, since he's back on X now, but I think he's sitting there waiting for an email going, are these guys going to email me? So hopefully he sees an email from Andre, the boss man. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm also excited to see if Chato is going to show up. I know that for the privileged who are used to getting a separate email, it's going to feel like oppression to have to check X like everyone else. So to ease him in, I did send him an email. So it'll be exciting to see if he shows.
I hope you sent him an email that says check X and not the actual link.
I did both.
Oh, for
I just said ease him in.
As the mother in this situation, he's never going to learn if you keep letting him get away with it.
Oh, my God.
It's in your DMs. You have to check your direct message.
You are too much of a softie.
Previously on Midnight's Edge in the morning.
Yeah.
He's never going to learn to go to college if you don't quit.
Stop fighting.
Wow.
I learned it from you. Pack and Protons sends our soul super chat this morning. Good morning, Pack and Protons. Oh, well, I spoke too soon. And it says, finally saw Beekeeper. Damn! An actual good original movie. No sympathetic villains. You actually cheered when the bastards got off. More, please. Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfectly cast. All the bad guys you loved to hate. And Jason Statham just doing Jason Statham things. And that's what happens when you mess with Mrs. Huxtable.
Yeah. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Beekeeper was the best movie of 2024.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was such a blast. I can't praise it enough. I thought there was no way that a movie could be more Jason Statham than Crank and Crank 2. Up until now, that was the most Jason Statham I thought a movie possibly could be.
Crank.
Crank, yeah, from 2006. The only other Jason Statham movie which came close to that, to being as close to Jason Statham as that, was I short-circuited right now. Unbelievable.
The Transporter.
No. That's Stanley.
Not the Working Man, right?
A working man?
No. John Wick.
No.
John Wick. That's the movie I was going. I mean, that's a Jason Statham movie right there. It's just miscast with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
I
no wonder
see.
none
It
of us
should
got
have
it.
had Jason Statham.
I was going
Because
to say, yeah.
But John Wick, that's a Jason Statham movie that is not starring Jason Statham.
You're pretty much, yeah, I can see that. I could see
Yeah.
if Keanu would have said no, then he would have probably been their second choice.
Yeah. Maybe he said no and Keanu was.
It could be.
Yeah, but anyway, point is
Yeah.
that Beekeeper is the most Jason Statham of all Jason Statham movies there ever was. It's the perfect movie in which Jason Statham stars as Jason Statham, who delivers a whole shit ton of Jason Statham upon a bunch of guys that needs to be Jason Statham. So it just delivered everything, and it did so with perfection. And it's going to be a whole franchise, and I couldn't be happier. Bring it.
Yeah,
I've never heard of Jason
year.
Statham as a verb before.
Oh no, it is basically he's
You've been
basically his
Jason
own
Statham.
franchise. Like you have a Die Hard ripoffs that are just basically Die Hard movies.
Mm-hmm.
You have Jason Statham movies now, and Andre is not wrong. Like I mean, he kind of picked up where Charles Bronson left off. Like, because Charles Bronson was a guy who like every movie is like a revenge flick. No, it's yeah. Doesn't the Beekeeper 2 come out next year though? I think it is.
I don't remember the date, but
I think it's next year.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for like Deadpool and Wolverine and Nosferatu, Beekeeper probably would have been my favorite of 24. But those two might just edge it out.
Yeah, that's some tough competition right there.
It is.
But
That was
were the
24
three
was actually a
movies to
decent
see.
year.
It was because of those 3 movies.
I mean, there's a few other decent ones in there, but there were some stinkers too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and
but,
one of the best movies from the year before that, from 2023, was The Equalizer Part 3, which is also a Jason Statham movie, not starring
no,
Jason
Jason
Statham.
Statham. Yeah, basically, that was where they took The Equalizer and turned it into a Jason Statham movie. You're not wrong. But anyway, speaking of movies and old men and all that kind of business, did you guys see the thing with Old Man Bond that Variety put
Yes,
out?
very briefly.
Yeah, because I posted it yesterday, not thinking, and this is usually what happens. Like, I can post something thinking this is going to get the most likes and retweets I've ever gotten, and then I post something like this thinking, nobody's going to care. And it kind of took off. I wouldn't say it's viral, but it kind of took off. I mean, a lot of responses, mostly positive, like, yes, everybody wants this. And, you know, besides the obvious ones where everybody's like, we already got it with Never Say Never Again and The Rock. It's like, yes, we get that, but this is Pierce Brosnan's Bond. And I was reminded that Mark Millar did The King of Spies, which was basically Pierce Brosnan and his old man 25% different Bond. And I was just letting Andre know about this. He was unaware of this.
Yeah, that's how I knew of it. Like, Tom informed me, but before then, I was unaware.
So was I until yesterday, really. But and then we also have Paul joining us. Speaking of old men, having your breakfast.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Your brunch?
Maybe not the king of spies, but certainly the king of YouTubers.
Is that a
Peach.
Oh, it's a peach.
Oh.
Gotcha. So yeah, I was saying before we started the show, I'm like, shit, if Amazon wasn't smart enough to pick up the rights to this and get Pierce Brosnan going on an old man Bond right now, what I was told is that Netflix bought all the rights to Mark Millar's stuff. So if they own the rights to this, if I was them, I'd be like, you want to buy this, Amazon? No? All right. Get Pierce on the phone and be like, you want to make a couple $1,000,000 and come back and play not old man Bond? Kick everybody's ass. But anyway, Chris, you're muted. I didn't know if you were trying to say something.
Sorry about that. It's ultra violent. It's the character is a former spy, the king of spies, if you will, and highly skilled, legendary, and he has a 6 months to live diagnosis. So he starts taking revenge on every corrupt power, including deep state and system that he's been dealing with for 40 years, and goes and starts to try to clean house on all the influential.
Now that's a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah. I mean, he goes after the entertainment industry, he goes after organized religion, political corruption, and bad guys. It's crazy. Human traffickers. He just goes off. It's ultra violent. It's great.
Now it sounded like you were familiar with this too, Scribe.
No, I'd never heard of it before.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you were.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
No. I mean, I mean, I'm familiar with the idea of bringing back an old Bond kind of thing, but not this comic book. No, I'm actually looking up to see if there's some detail about what Netflix's deal with Miller is, and if they already own
Yeah,
it.
it'd be nice to know because, like I said, I don't know if this was included in that or not, but it seems to me, from my understanding, I don't know how it all worked out, but basically, like, yeah, he had this idea for like an old man Bond story, couldn't get, to do it the right way, and just did it his own way, which is what I keep telling a lot of folks is like, don't do a fan film. If you got a good idea, just make your own own thing, because if you make a fan film, the first thing you're going to do is ostracize yourself from whatever franchise that is that you've made a fan film for. Look at Alec Peters as a grand example of that, right? And he kind of started that whole thing, and now that's kind of given a lot of fan films a bad name because of that. And look at the struggle that even like what's his face, Star Wars Theory or whatever, did the Darth Vader films, all the troubles he's gone through.
Never rely on someone else's IP. Make your own. Make money.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what the deal was, because the deal between Netflix and Millar started in 2017, And I don't know if that means that they had access to his catalog going backwards or anything forward, because King of Spies is 2021. So it's possible it's in the deal.
That's true.
Yeah, it's possible it's in the deal if they had some kind of go forward deal for anything, or first look kind of deal. But but so 27, certainly everything from 2017 and back in Miller's portfolio was probably game, but hard to say about anything afterwards.
My understanding is that it's in development.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if people may or may not be familiar with Mark Miller, and it's just pronounced Miller. It's spelled Millar, and everybody says Millar, but it's pronounced Miller. And Mark is on X as well. He's a great bloke if you ever want to talk.
Yeah, I know a few people who know him. Yeah, probably yourself included.
He also did The Kingsman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So this is the same guy that did Hit. Oh gosh.
Well, it's
What's
Kick-Ass and
Kick-Ass,
Legacy.
Kick-Ass, yeah.
Yeah.
He's done quite a few stuff that wound up becoming pretty good movies.
I was gonna say, wasn't Netflix supposed to be doing some kind of Kick-Ass reboot of a series or something like that?
Yes. I don't know the status of that either. It's just, you know, you make a great point, Tom, because this would be an idea. I think it's a great idea, especially bringing back Pierce Brosnan for one final outing as Bond.
You know, it'd be even funner because a lot of people are like, I'd love to see Timothy Dalton come back too. I was like, you know what'd be fun is if you cast him as either a villain or some sort of find a way to make him like a partner in some way, like they're both
Wouldn't that be
former
crazy?
agents.
We're-
Yeah, like that would be fun.
We are getting the resurrection of old people doing stuff. I mean, we've got oh god damn it, the old guys who are reprising their rock and roll thing.
Top Gun.
Oh,
Maverick.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Spinal Tap.
Okay.
Sorry.
Tap.
And you
Spinal
got Top
Tap.
Gun Maverick, and we just
Yeah,
had
but
Happy
that's-
Gilmore, which we're about to talk about. But yeah,
I'm talking about really old. Like,
Well, yeah, but-
so the Spinal Tap is really old. Pierce Brosnan and
yeah, had Sylvester
would
Stallone come
be-
back
would
as
be really
Rambo a
old.
few years ago. Yeah,
I think that's it. But that doesn't feel that natural. That feels like a bit of a stretch. This
I don't
could be.
know.
You
Have
can
you seen
kind
the
of
new one?
believe it. No, I mean the brand new one of Rambo.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
with Stallone.
yeah, I thought it was a good bookend, especially if you see the
believe that
international
one.
cut, not the stupid theatrical cut.
Yeah. It's
But
not
I
bad.
Yeah.
but I could see even Step Brothers at the age that Farrell and
Step Grandpas, that'd be great.
that would be hilarious. Wouldn't it be great to see them reprise that role? Because
That was one of the funniest fucking movies ever made. I don't care what anybody says.
because they were children, right? I mean, that was the joke, and to see them even older acting in the similar fashion.
Well, it's kind of like grumpier old men, right? Yeah.
Except these guys were psychotically childish.
Yeah, well, yeah, they were a little more psychotic than child.
yeah.
But it was a childhood thing or teenage thing that was still going after 50, 60 years. That's the whole point.
Yeah, and the fact that you can still never put it away, I think, is
Right.
good. Yeah, Grumpy Old Man was funny. I mean, again,
Yes.
that was a very, very funny.
The
And
second
even
one was maybe even better than the first, but yeah.
Reds is another good example. The first one, really good movie for old people revenge. I mean, did you ever see Reds?
Yes, with
Mirren?
Bruce Willis and John Malkovich,
Mirren?
that one.
Yeah.
Helen Mirren.
just red, not reds, but yeah.
Sorry,
that's-
Red.
that's-
Reds.
I was going to say,
is-
Reds is the one with Warren Beatty.
Warren
It's
Beatty.
a
Oh.
much different
Yeah.
film.
Yeah,
We
sorry.
see Old People Revenge. Harry Brown was a few years ago with Michael Caine. That was pretty good.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Michael Caine. He's just like this retiree in this block in Britain or whatever. And
Oh.
then a friend something. I won't say too much, but if something happens to a friend of his, and so he goes on sort of a one man revenge because nobody suspects him because he's this doddering old man, but he's like going around being, Charles Bronson. It's great. Harry Brown.
Yeah, it's kind of like you Get Carter under another name.
Okay,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
quasi sequel to Get Carter almost.
Yeah,
Spiritual
I suppose it could
sequel.
be.
Spiritual
Sure.
sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd only seen the Sylvester Stallone movie before until recent years. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. no.
So is that supposed to be Pierce Brosnan in the picture?
It is. Well, that was the funny thing about this King of Spies thing is my understanding is that Mark tried to do this as like an actual Bond thing and it didn't work out. So he
Right.
just made Pierce Brosnan. I don't know if it takes place in his Kingsman world or what, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, if Netflix happens to have the rights to this, because we were trying to figure out, did you find that out, Chris or Scribe, what was going on with that, or no real clue?
There's nothing really.
Okay, because like I said, if Amazon was smart, they should swoop in, make this son of a bitch. That gives them time to work on their up and coming Bond.
Yeah.
Because then this buys them a year or two, and then because you only need to do one of these, right?
That's it.
Like, yeah, it doesn't need to be anything more than that. It's basically the Top Gun Maverick of.
Well, and I think he does it.
Or Never Say Never Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
well,
what?
yeah.
I can, actually, so I didn't mean to interrupt, but the perfect thing with doing that is that could be the kind of thing that canonizes that this long-held fan speculation that both the number and the name are key names that are given, that there never was an actual 007 James Bond. You become 007 James Bond, your former identity wiped out. So here, then you can then pretend that The Rock, starring old man Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, yeah.
That's canon. That's what happened to Sean Connery's 007. He got locked up by the CIA, put in The Rock. Now we know what happened to the Pierce Brosnan 007. That whatever happened to this is him. And the Daniel Craig 007, well, he died in the line of duty. And and there, now you have the stage set to reboot with the next generation of 007 James Bond. It's perfect.
Bingo.
So
you can even have a crack in the beginning, like at least they didn't throw you in prison like they do most of them. Like you could even have that as like a little,
exactly. Exactly. You could have really fun with it. It doesn't have to get in the way of the next reboot. On the contrary, can enhance it. Find a way to canonize everything that came before, including the fun fan theories, and just move on from there. I think it's the perfect solution.
And you could find a way to bring in Dalton too, like I said.
And that way, I would certainly even be more excited for James Bond going forward, because now you have maintained the Bond legacy, and this is now you can do pretty much anything that's needed to make him modern and relevant again. And we can now learn, for instance, what someone who doesn't want to come back. Well, they died in the line of duty. You can do a series and bring back whoever is alive and willing of the older Bonds. Yeah, it would be hilarious.
And we all know what happened to the Roger Moore 007.
No.
What? No, I don't. What happened?
Oh, he went to run the Spice Girls record label.
Oh yeah.
What were you going to say, right, Paul? Just before that,
I was just going to say that unless you can resurrect the original Honor Blackman, I'm not in it.
No, there you go.
Well, I think it's a great idea. Considering the reaction to my tweet, I was like surprised. I expected a bunch of fuck no's, and all I got was mostly yeses. I mean, yes, there were a few no's. Don't get me wrong, but
but
yeah,
Doctor knows.
Yeah.
Hey, if Sydney Sweeney came out of the ocean in Ursula Andress's bikini, I'm all in.
There you go.
My.
Like that was a great moment.
I would love to bond with her.
For a young lad, though, that was a great moment.
In the original book where that happens, she comes out of the ocean not even wearing a bikini, but nothing at all. That's something that they added for the movie.
Yeah, but you know what? Clothing, strategic clothing, just I think enhances the excitement.
Yeah.
Especially if it's from American Eagle.
Yeah.
Let's get a few more
denim
of these.
bikini. Denim bikinis, everybody.
Let's get a few more of these super chats, and we'll talk about another old man coming back. Dr. Long Dongler sends us in a thumbs up to remind you to pound that like button if you haven't done it already. And he's been a member for 45 months. Thank you so much. Lieber Wolf has been here for 27 months. Thank you for that as well. We got Accident Seller in the house who sends in 20 Norwegian Krona to says, was going to write this super, but now got to pee, so bye. Oh. Okay.
Well, sorry to interrupt.
Well, I hope you feel better now and that's relieved. So, yeah.
At least it was a number 1 and not a number 2. Hypergiver 2 says, saw the trailer for Good Boy. If anything happens to the dog, we ride. Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer in its full, but I've seen a few clips and bits.
It looks good, man.
Yeah, the trailer, I saw it last night. It looks really good.
Oh, this is inspired, and they know better to kill that dog. They're not stupid.
No, the dog.
Why do you think Superman was so popular? As much as we bitch about crypto, guess what? Those fuckers sell out everywhere. I tried to get one the other day, and they're gone.
Yep.
Or I just asked about it, actually, I should say, because I saw the other plushies sitting there. I'm like, did you guys have any cryptos? And they're like, oh, yeah, they were gone the first day.
Wow.
I don't know why people have. Well, fine, whatever. I guess.
He's the new Baby Yoda.
For real, really. That dog.
Not quite.
I
Not
don't
as
buy
big,
that.
don't get me wrong, but like, here's the thing that we don't see in our little fucking bubble. Like, we got to remember, we are in a little bubble too.
Yes.
The kids are really into this movie. The kids, like the kids.
You're about Superman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with that. It should be that way. I get it.
This
the Snyder Bros and some other people are upset they didn't get, stoic Superman.
Yeah.
But guess what? This is what the kids wanted to see.
This is what also something that I pointed out as a huge benefit for the movie when we looked at the breakdown and who were in the box office. That unlike, for instance, the Fantastic Four, Superman swayed young. It had a significantly higher than average appeal to family audiences.
Say
That
cope
means
all you want in the
just
chat.
go to the next generation.
I was gonna say, cope all you want in the chat, but this movie has performed better in the United States than any comic book movie other than Deadpool and Spider-Man since Endgame. It's even doing better than like Joker did. I think the Batman is the only movie so far stateside that has done better.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, the part 3.
Okay, yeah, Guardians of I'm talking DC, but yeah, that's true. I did mention, yeah. But even Guardians of the Galaxy, how did that do in the US? Comparatively.
Well,
I mean, look.
I would have to look up, but that
Because that's the thing is we've all been saying, oh yeah, these movies are doing great, but then you go back and look, and they're really lopsided on the international side. That's the thing I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And people keep fucking ignoring that. It's like, I get it. It's not doing as well internationally, but stateside, it's doing much better than most of these superhero movie films usually do, even in the height of the superhero movies. So that's why I'm trying to figure out why everybody's saying it's such a big failure on top of ZDS, but yeah.
Better than Blue Beetle? Come on.
Oh, I'm sure it did much better than Blue Beetle.
Hey, Paul, I gotta ask because it's gonna bother me if I don't find out. Was it the email that got you here, or did you go to your direct messages in X? I know you were recently released.
Well, I went into X actually earlier on, and I thought I saw no link. Usually the links come up as this blue picture, and I couldn't see it. I went, oh, I guess they don't want me. And then later on, I saw Andre's email around 5 minutes after 12. I went, oh, really? Is it in the? And then I found it in X. So
oh, good. Okay. Well,
I did find the link in X, but I had to squint.
Okay.
And to answer your question, Andre, Guardians did only 10 million better in the US
Then
how about internationally?
than Superman. Internationally, of course, it did 486 million.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's lopsided internationally.
And that's the strength of the Guardians of the Galaxy brand and the goodwill that Marvel since has lost.
And don't get me wrong, it's not like these studios don't like to have big international numbers, but they don't get nearly the percentage they get of the inside the US numbers, and that's one of the reasons why I think they convinced James Gunn to allow Superman to go to streaming early. Because they're like, we can make a hell of a lot more money right now if we do it this way, because they've pretty much tapped out the American market as far as comic book movies go. Like, yeah, could it made a little bit more? Yeah, it did, and it will probably make a few million more, but
sure. And
I don't know if it had any more in it to really squeeze any more out of.
You're right about the profit motivation for international, but to Andre's point, I do think it's an indicator of that lost love internationally for the Marvel brand. No matter what the numbers get crunched as, ticket sales are what we're really looking at, not the dollars, but just the butts in seats, and they're not putting butts in seats.
Exactly.
Well, no comic book movie is right now. That's the problem.
Well, I wonder why, right? Because, Superman and Batman, which you mentioned, the two biggest, that's the world's finest over at DC, right? Those are the legacy characters. Maybe Wonder Woman would come in third if you were trying to figure out your top DC draw.
Well, here's the thing, and this is my problem, is that the media has put this out here. You got people even in our chat that both box office installed in both regions. No! It did stupendous in the U.S. This is what I'm trying to say. What part of this is such a problem? $350 million in the U.S. box office is almost exactly what fucking Guardians of the Galaxy and more than some of these other superhero movies have done in the last few years. Superman is actually overperforming in the US, considering it's underperforming outside the US, yes. But it's doing just as well as any of the other Marvel films are. In fact, I think it's still beating Fantastic Four outside the US. I'd have to look. But last I knew it was. So that's my point, is why are people like concentrating only on the negative here and not seeing that this is the last gasp for the... Look, I'm going to tell you guys this. You may not like the movie, but this is the only thing keeping superhero movies alive. Because if you think Doomsday is going to do any good, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're fucked. That movie ain't going to do shit. And from what we're hearing, Robert Downey Jr. is running the show. And God bless him. I love him. But he is not a filmmaker. That tells me there is no fucking person running the ship over there, and the Russos are just letting him run wild. In what world should Robert Downey Jr. be running the show? What does he know about Marvel Universe other than he played Iron Man? I guarantee you he never read a comic book before that.
What does he know about Doctor Doom?
Exactly. In fact, I'll tell you, he doesn't know a fucking thing, because the first thing he said in one of the first interviews is he said, "Oh, I'm just starting to read up on Doctor Doom." Okay, good. Maybe he will have learned some things in the meantime, so we can hope for that. But I'd rather not hope. I'd rather know.
Yeah.
That's my problem here. And Doomsday is going to fucking bomb. If you thought, unless it is amazing.
Budgets?
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
I think so.
Because you've seen the amount of people that are in that fucking... It is going to be the most expensive movie ever made when it's all said and done. I guarantee it. Because there's no way it can't be.
Yeah.
They're
Good
already a
thing for
couple
them
$100 million in
that,
before they start filming.
Oh yeah, for sure. Good thing is that is something that they can amortize over 2 movies, and according to WDW Pro, they're looking at doing 3 movies, 3 Avengers movies. And I guarantee you that is to amortize the tremendous cost over 3 movies, and they'll need that more if the first one bombs, which it's likely going to.
Well,
Marvel's version of a Hobbit.
Yeah.
3 movies out of 2 movies worth of material.
Well,
man.
But
And we'll
I
really
think what people are focused on, Tom, domestically, it's like none of them are going to do what Spider-Man No Way Home did.
No.
800,000 domestically.
And a Superman movie hasn't performed in years. I mean, yes, everybody's trying to compare it to Man of Steel, and it's like, yeah, that's fine. Man of Steel did slightly better, and mostly outside the U.S., obviously, as we were saying before.
It's top of the heap here in our current where we are now, but even like Multiverse of Madness did like 400,000 domestic. What I think the bigger
400 million,
picture here is that the superhero movies are, the return on the investment is not what it used to be.
No, and I think Warner Brothers is well aware of that. I know
That's why they're
Paramount
trying to make them
and Sony
cheaper.
are well aware of that. That's why Sony's like, fuck this Spider-Verse shit outside of a few things. We're not going to see much out of that besides the cartoon and whatever other things they do try to do.
Well, they're never going to make $2 billion on a Spider-Man movie again. That was lightning in a bottle.
And it does sound like Miles Morales is sucked up into some kind of rights issue, possibly.
Really?
That's all right.
No, I haven't heard that.
Well, did you guys see this? Because they've asked about Miles a few times now.
Yeah.
And the response is always, as soon as he's gone from Sony or something like that, then.
No, the response is as soon as they're done with the animated movies. I don't think that's...
you double check that response. Because I thought it said something about when it's gone from Sony is what Kevin said.
Okay.
Because I think that he's stuck in some kind of...
Yeah, but Miles Morales is not
I could be wrong.
like... People aren't clamoring for a new Miles.
No, they're not. But to me, I'm just saying is that there's still this legal limbo thing going on because they keep asking if Miles Morales is going to show up in live action.
Yeah.
And you may be right because he maybe said that because of him being on the Spider-Verse stuff. But to me, that doesn't... The only thing that... It just doesn't make sense to me because unless there's some kind of separate rights deal, because Sony can do whatever the fuck they want with those characters as long as it's within the parameters of the deal.
but the moment it joins the MCU, then he gets frozen. Sony can't use him anymore.
That could be as well. You might have a point. That could be what he meant.
Sony will want to be done with him for their animated stuff first. Then they can monetize him in live action.
Yeah. Maybe.
See, and the only reason I think he's outside the realm is because he was created after the deal. So I don't know what his.
That doesn't matter anything because
I know, but
yeah.
I just wonder because a different creator involved in all that business. Because I know Spider-Woman has a separate deal too.
Because one of those deals leaked, I don't think that this would change because the Spider-Man deal that we saw that basically says that any character created in a Spider-Man comic, including in the future beyond the making of this contract, the moment the character appears in Spider-Man, Sony has the movie rights, which is why Marvel has been very careful not to debut new characters in the Spider-Man comics, even if they intend to use him against Spider-Man. The character will typically show up somewhere else first, because that way Sony doesn't get the rights to him. Anything they create for use in Spider-Man, they automatically give to Sony, even if they do so right now in this moment.
Sony pressed a hard bargain, did they not?
Well, here's the thing that I know about the other side of this is that they don't get here. They have very little incentive to use Miles Morales. See, that's the thing, and we don't know what all is entailed in the brand new deal they got after that initial deal. Remember?
This is true. So there may be changes there. I don't know if they would want to change that.
And that's the thing, because I know for a fact that Tom Rothman is pissed about this Spider-Verse shit because they don't see any money from the merchandising from that cartoon. They do get a piece of the Tom Holland stuff because that's part of their deal. But this is where I can see there's been reluctance to push forward on this third Spider-Verse film. Because what incentive is there for? They're spending all the money on this movie, plus they have to pay Marvel a license fee. They don't get any of the toy sales, and the movies themselves don't make all that much money. It's the merchandise. There was even an article that came out after I had pointed this out a few times, that all those movies are is expensive commercials for Marvel toys that Disney cashes in on. Disney made over $2 billion in sales on them fucking toys that Sony didn't see a dime of. And don't think Tom Rothman ain't pissed
who
about
can
that.
for that? Yeah, that's Avi Arad right there. Toyman Avi Arad, who understood where the real money was.
Well, and that was Sony's fault from the first place for selling the toy rights back just to maintain the rights to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's where I was thinking for a while that there probably was going to be some deal made just because it makes more sense for Tom to just throw his arms up in the air and say, you know what, let's just make a deal with Marvel and get it off our fucking shoulders and just have like if I was him, I'd say we get a piece of the next 3 Miles Morales Spider-Verse movies. Because as soon as if Disney were to get the rights to those, they'd go right into production on 2 or 3 more of those. Right? Because they're just nothing but toy sellers for them. Yeah. And all Sony wanted was just to give us a piece of that pie, and then we'll call it a day after you pay us some money, and we're done. Maybe a piece of the next few Spider-Man movies. That to me makes more sense than them trying to keep doing this Spider-Verse shit, which it doesn't seem like they're even going to do. But anyway, that being said, I know you guys talked about Bubblehead being Spider-Man the other day, so we don't need to get into that. But we do need to get into these super chats. We got that one. We got this one here, Flying Blind from a Rocket Cycle, who's given away 5 memberships. Thank you for that. Hey. Jimmy Dennis says become a member as well. And thank you for that. Kareen's in the house. Good to see you. Says Superman is the 3rd best box office domestically. Minecraft, Superman, and Lilo, of course, is the 2nd. And yeah, and Warner Brothers is doing just fine. That's another reason why Superman did not need to perform as much as most people thought it did. Warner Brothers has been doing very well this year. Bass Player 2011, if he said, and who called that one, Andre? We did. Marvel has been bankrupt, and then they made that deal. They didn't really have a choice. Yes, at that time they weren't, but they've got the better parts of that deal back. The only thing they don't have is just the rights to the character, basically.
And they still
the
have
money's
a way
in toys.
Yeah. But monetarily, they don't need it. And creatively, they do have a deal which allows them to use Spider-Man. So they have a situation that works for everyone. And the deal that was made at the time, it was the deal that had to be made in order to salvage the company. There was no ifs, buts, or ways around it. And that deal is what ultimately gave us the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And because of that, later down the line, the MCU. So good things came out of it, and it did what had to be done. So
could have been worse. Yeah. We could have got a canon Spider-Man movie out of it.
Oh man,
written by James Cameron. I'm not saying that it was a bad thing. I'm just saying, listen, Sony's attorneys were very, 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 very savvy and shrewd.
Mm-hmm.
Was James Cameron involved in the canon one, or was that a later version? Because I thought the canon.
No, that was a later version.
I was going to say because the canon one was going to be batshit crazy because those guys didn't even know anything about Spider-Man.
No.
Like, they were gonna fuck. The only thing that was gonna be basically remotely Spider-Man was the costume and some of his powers. Otherwise, the guys making the movie had no fucking clue what they were doing. From what there's like a whole documentary probably in the making of that.
And some of the James Cameron script even found its way and survived
Yes.
into the.
In fact, the
Sam
Flash
Raimi
Thompson
movie.
scene is like exactly the same. The part where the webs are part of his
Organic.
DNA thing is
Yeah.
part of
Well,
the James Cameron.
I remember
a lot
the
of
rumor that Bob Hoskins was going to play Dr. Octopus, and I thought that's great. That would have been great.
That'd have been
Yeah.
a great one, yeah.
Yeah.
Him or Danny DeVito would have been perfect back then, yeah. But
A little
no,
more,
I mean,
a little more sexual version too, I think, from what I've read.
Danny DeVito.
No, Jim Cameron's script. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Well, I think they had, if I remember right, because I read because it was just a treatment. I don't think it was ever a script. I think it was
Okay.
just a treatment. I read like the 30 pages.
That's what it
And
was. You're
yeah,
right.
and I think they jumped Peter up to college pretty quick in that, from my memory.
Yeah, and J. Jonah Jameson was pretty significant in that. Too.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, there's scenes that are lifted directly out of that right into the Sam Raimi script. Like, especially like the Flash Thompson fight is like exactly the same. And a couple of the other things are almost exactly the same. Some of the Mary Jane stuff. Maybe even the spider kiss might even be in that script
Yeah,
from what I
maybe.
remember.
That was like 92, 93 or so. It was early 90s when he did that.
Yeah, he was going to do it. He was really
I think
hot
there
to
was
do
a
it. He was
full-page ad for it somewhere.
Well, the Canon one they did, but when,
Okay.
because in turnaround, was it Universal or Sony that picked it up at that time already? I can't remember, Andre, now. But when Cameron got involved, or was it Fox?
I don't remember, but
Because Cameron
I'm
usually
checking
worked
that
with
away
Fox,
anyway.
so I think it was Fox actually.
should
'Cause
very
I think
well
he
have
picked it
been.
up through what is it, Searchlight or whatever? Not Searchlight, Lightning, whatever his fucking company has picked up the rights and turnaround. And I think he was developing it, and then they just turned it around again, and that's when Sony picked it up, I guess. But
I think but wasn't a lot of Cameron's first movies from Canon?
No,
No,
he usually worked
just
with
the
Just Terminator.
Corman. He worked with Corman.
Corman. Yeah, I was gonna say no. He usually worked with Orion is what Terminator he got to deal with.
Yeah.
After that, he worked with what's her name,
Caralco?
Kassar.
Okay.
Caralco,
Caralco,
with
yeah.
Kassar
Carol,
and
Carol
the other
Cove,
guy,
Yeah.
Carol
Yeah,
Cove.
Vanya and
Carol
Carol.
Cove.
Vanya Kassar and the other guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah.
Yeah. And he
Because
started
didn't
out with
Kassar go
Corman
off
with
and do like
Piranha
basically
2.
Carol Cole 2? Yeah. Sorry, what'd you say, Andre?
Yeah, no, yeah, C2 Pictures, Karolko 2. That's literally what it was.
Yeah, his spin-off, yeah. But no, I think you said that his only canon movie was Piranha 2.
No,
He was
not even
fired.
canon. It was the Piranha 2 that was with Corman.
That was Corman, yeah, and he was fired from that like twice, I think, too.
Yeah. And
But,
since then, yeah, it was a different.
It was Carol Cove that did Terminator 2.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what it was.
Yep.
My bad.
Yep. And Ryan took a chance on it originally, which is funny because I'm reading the making of Caddyshack, which was one of Orion's first big chances they took. Which is kind of funny. You should check that out, Paul. You'd probably find it a very interesting book. In fact, it's kind of funny because have you seen the movie A Stupid and Futile Gesture, the movie about Doug Kenny on Netflix?
No.
You should check that out too, because basically this book covers that entire movie in the first half of the book and some of the other stuff.
Well,
But yeah.
Doug Kenny was a writer for Nat Land.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
A Stupid and Futile Gesture came out 2018 Netflix. I'm trying to remember the guy they had playing Doug Kenny, but no, it was all right. It's a real quick slapdash version of the story of Doug Kenny, but
There is a movie about the making of the first
issue of National Lampoon.
no of I cannot remember the Adam Sandler golf thing. Shit.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. There's a movie on that. And Caddyshack is the one that Doug Kenny was involved in, right?
Yep.
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 I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a making of Caddyshack. Of just like making of golf movies.
There's a few, like I think one of them, like E Entertainment or one of them. There's a few documentaries out there that are okay, but reading this book, I'm learning so much shit. And this movie did a pretty good job of grabbing what they could that was important about Doug in his life, going through it. And it even has some of the Caddyshack stuff and all
Oh,
that.
there's a ton of amazing authors at National Lampoon. Well, there's a few of them that went on to Saturday Night Live at the very beginning. the guy who
Yes.
stuck the train spikes into his eyes, Michael.
Yep. O'Donoghue.
Minor O'Donoghue. He came from. That was a huge. I mean, I think I have every single National Lampoon magazine in my
And you'll get a
collection.
kick out of this movie. I think you'll like it a lot. I mean, like I said, it's real kind of truncated version of the story, but
Sounds
it's
good.
obviously it's Doug Kenny's movie. But yeah,
Right. And of course, Chevy Chase was in the stage show, National Lampoon stage show. I mean, there's just so many ways to do comedy at the time. This is part of the problem, is that we have no AAA farm team for
no, we
comedy.
don't. No, but yeah, you should check that out.
I would.
saw that.
Sounds
Ultimate
great.
Metal Forever says, I see the movie Good Boy is going to be very profitable for one good reason. There was 1,000% search on Google saying that the dog in Good Boy is going to die. Yeah, I think people are going to be into this movie. They found a nice.
You know that would be the perfect setup for? If the dog dies in the end, a sequel
John
starring
Wick.
Jason Statham.
I was waiting for something like that. I should have thought of that one quicker.
Who's the good boy?
Kalecki says, not saying Superman domestic box office run wasn't great. As of now, it has stalled out domestically too. It has crossed 600 million. It will slowly cross 600 million. But like, again, like I think they were well prepared for this. And my point is that Disney is not. Disney is just pretending that nothing is wrong, that even though the building is burning down around them, they're like, everything is fine. We're fine. We got a Avengers movie coming out. We'll be fine. When
They're basically the personification of that meme with the doggy who is sitting
Yes.
inside the burning building saying, "This is fine." No, it isn't. It's not
it's just
fine.
a little warm in here.
And
That's
it
all.
hasn't been for many, many years.
No, not since Multiverse of Madness, exactly. And we got Avon Drew, who sends in $1.99 to say good morning. Well, good morning. And we have other stories to get to here, so let's get to them. Let's see here. What was our first topic of the day? Was Chris Pratt, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
So, I guess he was
Chris Pratt
talking to
and
Bill
Mark
Maher.
Hamill speaking in different directions. But let's begin with Chris Pratt here.
Do we have the story here in the background?
We do. We have a great story that's up on Bleeding Cool. I'll send you the link, and then
Bleeding
maybe
Cool.
Risk
I
can
got
talk
it.
us.
I got it.
But Bleeding Fool. I meant Bleeding Fool.
Get it
what am I
right,
saying?
Andre. Jeez,
Yeah.
not the
Yes.
Indeed.
TM. Bleeding
on.
Fool. So yeah,
Bleeding
so
Fool,
tell us
the real
about
deal,
this.
not that other stuff that
Yeah.
pretends to be cool when it isn't.
That's right.
It doesn't like my. Oh, I got it too big. That's why. Okay. So Chris Pratt has been under a little heat. This I did hear about, but I didn't actually see the comments or what he said or the podcast. I'll be real with y'all. I do kind of tend to watch some of these Bill Maher
Yeah, I saw him
shows
on that.
once in a while, especially the not his real time so much anymore, but I love his when he's sitting there and getting
Club
drunk and
Random.
stoned with Club Random. Thank you.
And
this is what he was
as
on.
long as he doesn't get into I will lecture and I will talk through everything for the entire time mode. He can become insufferable. His interview with the piano player, I had to stop it.
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel was intolerable.
Oh no.
Oh my God. He was telling Billy Joel his own career. Oh, and then when you did this, and then when you, and Billy Joel, yeah, fuck, I know my own career. Thank you very much for telling me all the stuff that I did. It was terrible. I could not finish it off. Bill Maher would just not shut up.
Yeah, well, that kind of happened in the segment in regards to this because I listened to
saw
it before the
this too.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the first like half of the segment specifically on RFK, it was just Maher talking about his personal history with the Kennedys and his family, and Chris Pratt's kind of sitting there going, yeah, yeah. And I kind of thought as they were talking about this as an over thing, how awkward it must have been for Chris Pratt, who is married into this titanic blending of families.
Yep.
You got Schwarzenegger, and by extension through his wife's mother, you have the Kennedys, and him sitting there with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher like talking about like RFK and this, that, and the other thing, and the family stuff. And he's like, I don't know if I should be dishing on family business kind of stuff. That's kind of the impression I got as Chris Pratt was sitting there. He said some, nice things about RFK and hanging out with him and all that. And then they talked a little bit about political stuff, but Chris Pratt predicated it by saying, I'm not really into politics. I'm not a politics guy, but yeah, I think we should be taking bad things out of food for our children.
Right.
And then he started talking about the Trump derangement reaction to such things.
Real quick, just to kind of upfront say, like, in normal circumstances, I think that's a great response that any actor should say is, I'm not involved in politics.
Yeah.
But what he is kind of is, and I'm not comparing his career in this sense, but as far as like his persona in Hollywood, because of what the family that he's married into, let's say, it's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he married Maria Shriver.
Right.
People started asking him political questions, and it's understandable.
Right. Sure.
Like, I can understand somebody asking Chris Pratt some of these questions compared to other people, because guess what? You married into it, buddy. Sorry.
Well, they actually talk about that. There's one point in there. I think it's after the RFK part where they're talking about the image of a celebrity as told by the media and the common wisdom versus the actual person, and how an entire vision or version of a person has been created by people, and then when they actually ask the person about, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I don't know who this person is that you've heard about. Like, sources say, that kind of stuff. And so, but I guess he's trying. He seemed to be on two fronts. He was trying to stay away from dishing about internal family stuff, because that's family stuff. And also, like I say, he was very clear to say, I'm not going to tell stories out of school. I'm not a politician, but there are some ideas and things that I appreciate about RFK, and people going nuts about, like, well, if RFK says they have to take poison out of this food, well, I'm going to put Clorox in my kid's cereal myself just to defy Trump. And it's like, okay, and he's not wrong. Is the thing is that the TDS can get
so he
that
actually
ridiculous.
said that.
Literally, he said I'll put Clorox in my kid's cereal to defy the RFK thing. Yeah.
It's refreshing to hear somebody say it that's the other way around, right?
Yeah,
because that's usually the left's whole thing is they'll try to hyperbolize, something that Trump says into something it's not. Well, this is almost an actuality, because we've seen this kind of behavior. It's where it's like, oh, Trump says it's okay. Well, if Trump says it's okay to drink water, then I'm going to stop drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and even Marr was agreed a little bit, although Marr was like, people used to love RFK Jr. when he was an environmental lawyer.
Right.
Maybe he needs to kind of go back to that, but I would be curious what's actually being said privately because he was kind about his father-in-law Schwarzenegger and things like that also in the interview. It's a pretty good interview. They talk about
it would be very awkward at the next family dinner if he wasn't.
That's right. Yeah.
So I heard you talk about me to Bill Maher.
Yeah. And you wonder what they are saying about RFK Jr. I think Pratt has always sort of had this very affable, likable personality. It seems to come through in his characters that he plays also. I particularly liked him on that show. The
Parks
Community?
and Rec.
Parks
and Rec is what he was on.
Loved him there. And there's when he played an FBI agent, or when he was trying to be an FBI agent on that show for a while, there's a character on X that answers all questions based on that character. It's pretty funny. I'll share that privately to you guys. But Pratt, he's also a faithful Christian. He goes to Hillsong Church out in California. I remember when Elliot Page or Ellen Page, I'm not sure what she was at the time, but she was bashing his church because, the Christian faith is not necessarily embracing of the transgender lifestyle and things like that. But Pratt stuck to it, and he talks about, praying with his wife. I mean, he doesn't seem to equivocate, and he doesn't seem hypocritical, and he doesn't seem to sort of change his views, but he tries, I think, to do everything very deftly and with a very light touch when people ask him questions that may or may not be controversial. I really like the way he handles himself.
Yeah, they tried to cancel him for a while for the high crime of really being Christian, but their excuse was for being associated with the wrong church.
That's right. That's
A
precisely
church that embraced Christianity and wouldn't submit to other ideals.
The same thing kind of happens with Denzel Washington, who also spoke about cancel culture the other day. He said he doesn't even he doesn't even think about it at all. I guess at his stage in his career, that's just something that he's not that worried about. But You know, Pratt did come out a few days before the election and wrote up a thing about politics without really endorsing Trump. It was more like he just said, win or lose, my hope is that we show up for each other. That's actually the name of the opinion article, win or lose, my hope is that we show up for each other. And it's linked in that piece that I did there that's on the page right there in the first sentence, if anybody wants to go take a look at it. And it's not fence sitting. Yeah, where it says steering clear, you could click that and see what it is. But you can just read it and get a sense that he's, he just wants to do what's right for America. And I think that the RFK appointment in the administration was what made him want to be.
Well, this isn't originally what he got a lot of flack for anyway, because I remember he's been under a microscope now for a while.
Yeah.
And because he was an active Christian and a few other things already, and everybody was already projecting that he was a conservative.
Yeah.
And again, like, I don't like that when actors get involved in this stuff, but I can understand where he's handled it with such grace.
I've been impressed. Yeah, I agree.
I can't wait to hear this interview. So,
yeah, it's good. And it, there is what my piece mostly focused on was his, him siding with RFK about getting toxic chemicals and harmful additives out of the kids' foods. I don't see how that is a controversial position.
Well, it is if you have TDS and the similar derangement with everyone associated with them. Now you want more additives in your food.
Yep.
Yes.
Clorox specifically.
Yeah. Well, and that was the joke. He said that people hate Trump so much that, even if RFK Jr. gets the toxins out, they're going to put Clorox in their cereal just to spite RFK and Trump. So
and these were the same people a few years ago bitching about free range food and all that kind of stuff too.
But Maher is also, I think, a little partial to Kennedy, because he was even saying that Kennedy's father would be proud of him for sticking to his guns.
Well, Maher never makes a secret of it that he's more of a classic lefty than anything.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Look at it. I mean, I will give him that much credit. As obnoxious as he is, he's not a waffler. He's not much of a, and he will if you can get him to listen, like Paul was saying, as long as he's not talking through you through the entire interview, if you could actually get him to listen to you, he is one of those few guys on that side that will, even if he doesn't necessarily agree with you, he will understand and see from the other side and the other point of view.
Yeah.
Right. So like I've seen him actually concede in an argument going, you know what, you're right. I'm wrong, basically, in so many words.
Yeah.
Or I understand where you're coming from and I can see that point of view now. And he's one of the first people on that side to keep pointing out, like, look, you can't keep demonizing these people. You can't keep expecting, you to keep screeching in their fucking faces and them to like see your side and see your point and agree with you. You're just going to turn them off, right? Like he was one of the first people to keep saying that basically saying demonizing half the country is not going to work out for you.
Well, and I agree with everything you're saying, Tom. I think that Maher is what I would classify as a classic liberal. And I can have good conversations as a conservative myself. I can have reasonable conversations with classic liberals. We can disagree. We can do it all with aplomb and be very kind to one another. And I can see both sides of it. And I can appreciate their values. Maher, but he does agreed also gets on my nerves when he's being a pest or when he's being an a-hole or when he's just being stupid. I mean, sometimes I think he just gets a little bit too high sometimes on that show and just starts talking a little smack. And
hey, don't blame the weed for his stupidity.
Yeah. I mean, whatever, however he wants to indulge.
Look, and as somebody who doesn't get agreed with very often, I get it. Sometimes you're going to say some shit to stir people up.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah, are we talking about Tom or are we talking about Bill Maher?
Look, and this is how I understand him. Is like, look, I'm somebody who I stay by what I fucking mean and what I believe and what I say in the first place. I'm not going to fucking waffle.
Yeah.
But if something is presented to me that makes me change my mind, then I will fucking accept that.
Yeah.
And people who are closest to me know that of me. Yes, I can be very passionate. I can be an idiot. You're not wrong, Paul.
Well, okay, good. Now that we've got that settled.
Yeah.
Thank you for that correction.
But I'm also sometimes the first guy in the room to point the shit out.
Yeah.
And that's why Andre pays me.
That's right. We get paid for this? Wait a minute.
Wait, what?
You don't, but I do.
Oh,
Well, Chris, if you want to side gig editing videos,
Yeah, if you want to edit videos, let us know. Yeah, we're looking
Hey,
for
that's
an
what I
editor.
do every day. Come on, give me
There
a
you
break.
Yeah, you're already too busy. That's the problem with
No
most
kidding.
editors we've run into. Yeah.
Yeah. But Chris Pratt, great guy. I mean, not everything he's been involved with was great, but I like him. He's the kind of guy that I would absolutely love to hang out with and meet in person, and I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah. I think he did a good job of balancing who he is and what he believes in, and I think he was a good counter to some of Bill Maher's stuff. Again, Bill's getting I've liked him for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think he's smoking just a bit too much weed.
He's smoking.
Well, the weed's
hard
getting too
stuff.
good.
Chronic.
That's the problem, Paul. The weed's
there's
getting
that.
too good.
It's getting too strong. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
You're right, Tom. Now, this for
Yeah.
anybody that's curious, this is the Club Random.
Yes.
podcast. That's the name of
Club
it.
random. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just came out, I think Sunday night, or it came out just this past weekend. So it's
It's
only,
a good interview.
yeah.
Well, and as of late,
His Henry Winkler one was wild because Henry is a very anti-Israel Jew.
He is.
so they jumped the shark on that one.
And then
Hey,
and Bill Maher was very pro-Israel. It was quite interesting.
It's that's almost. It sounds like it was almost like the time him and Ben Affleck went at it.
Oh
for that
boy.
shit.
good one.
Well, what I was just gonna say was it's
With
kind of
Sam-
funny because
with
in
Sam,
in the last 5-10 years or so, or 5 years or so, I think it's been mostly that he hasn't been doing it that long. So like the last 5 years, he's been doing this or so, give or take. And it's funny because most of his write-ups anymore, or things he gets talked about in the press, come from the Club Random interviews more so than they do his real-time show anymore. It feels like because he used to get quite a bit of coverage from that, but like 99% of the time, it feels like most of his stuff like this and. Like you even said, the Henry Winkler, I remember some things were written up about that too. And just about every one of his interviews on that Club Random podcast gets some sort of write-up off of it, it seems like.
Well, the one thing about the Club Random thing, which came out of, I believe, the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
when he
Yes.
was-
Hmm.
And
Yes.
what I liked about it and Bill Maher is that his insatiable need to be constantly performing. And he's not a big fan of live performing, so he says. I don't know the man, but I'm just going by what he's been saying. And so many other people, like I can't imagine Kimmel or Colbert having that drive, that need to be doing stuff like that. There's an awful lot of personalities that have tried the podcast and have failed brutally, right?
Yeah.
And I give Maher some credit for having passion for this kind of conversation.
Well, I'd almost say that he's kind of replaced the Playboy interview with this. In a way. Because that used to be the one where you get a lot of the, you get a lot of those guys a little drunk, a little high, and they'd say a few things they shouldn't have.
well, and I don't think Kimmel or those other guys could maintain a long form, free form conversation that wasn't already curated for them to begin with.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they could maintain that or even be interesting for that long themselves.
This is Club Random is a lot like that same vibe. Also a little bit like Rogan, where they sit around, they've probably got high before, they're smoking cigars or
A little
whatever.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. For anybody that's interested, that article is on Bleeding Fool's front page, and the Club Random video is embedded in the article at the end of it. They're about 2 hours long, and he came out and did Club Random, launched it in early 2022. So I think it probably was a COVID response, but he had to dial it up, a little bit, to get there. 2022.
Yeah, I guess it felt like it's been longer that he's been doing it. Of course,
3.5
COVID felt
years.
like it was
That's
10
the-
years. That was the problem.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah. Because he had that show on ABC Forever and HBO Real Time, which he's
Real Time he's been doing
that
that for like 20 years almost.
Doesn't he still do that?
Yes, Real Time's every week. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when he's off for holidays, but
Yeah, summer break or whatever.
Yeah. So, yep, Chris Pratt, Bill Maher. It's a good interview.
Wart Monkey over on Rumble. Playboy interviews were real? I always thought they were just Dudes told their
You're
girlfriends.
thinking of Playboy articles. Yeah.
You're thinking of the articles.
No, but they had a Playboy After Dark. I forgot about those interviews. They
Yes.
actually had
Yep.
real interviews.
They were very, like I said, like some of the most famous things we talk about to this day, like come out of some of those interviews. Like even the stuff they keep trying to cancel John Wayne with came out of those interviews.
The last interview, which was not filmed with John Lennon, was Playboy. Playboy had the very.
Here's the thing, right?
1984.
Yeah, Playboy really wanted their readership to be able to hide behind the excuse that they were just reading Playboy for the articles. So by necessity, they had to have some tremendously good articles and tremendously groundbreaking interviews. Otherwise, people wouldn't be able to get away with buying Playboy for the real reason, which would be the 5 pages of nudity in a 200-page magazine.
You also had the side effect of a lot of these celebrities would want to go to the Playboy Mansion, Andre. So as a quid pro quo.
Yeah, indeed. It was the.
Listen, I love the cartoons. I remember one was Gay and Wilson.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
Gay and Wilson had a guy at the urinal, and there was all sorts of guys next to him at the urinal, and he had the shakes. He had palsy, and it just like pee was going on everyone, and that was the level of that was the level of humor that.
Well, just to show you how smart Hugh Hefner was, like in the book I'm reading about Caddyshack, where they get into the early days of National Lampoon, just as they were going to ask for permission to do the Playboy issue, but they decided not to, and that was the first one they did. Remember the Playboy parody, and they were waiting to get threatened to get sued, and they did get the threat, but then they said, well, that's fine, we'll enjoy all the free press. Well, as soon as that got back to Hugh Hefner, he heard that, he goes, you know what, you guys are right. In fact, I'm going to fund the entire issue.
I remember that, and I should have that somewhere, and I don't know where I have it.
It's probably worth a lot. Like a lot of those parody ones are.
Well, I have the high school one, but I've thumbed through that like a million times. The amount of work that was involved in doing print parody, it was staggering. I mean, you have to like get all the fake pictures. You have to, get all the bios, make up entire fake schools, worlds, and get the get the material to make people believe those worlds existed. But I loved it. To me, print parody was the height of comedy in many ways, but it was also the most work.
But yeah, that was the stuff that put National Lampoon on the map. I mean, they were just still the Harvard Lampoon then, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyhow,
sorry,
so
I'm waxing. About
no, I know. I've been kind of sucked into this world in the last week or so. So you're one of the few people I know that knows anything about it. But anyhow, Thunderstorm comes in with $9.99. It says Chris Pratt isn't diverse enough. Chris Pratt should be portrayed by a multiracial transsexual Satan worshiper in interview. Well, here's the thing: even if he was remotely not white, they would be calling him an Uncle Tom or this or that or the other, or a white slave or what's the word I'm looking for? Not white slave, white sympathizer or some shit like that. He would not be able to win, right?
Well, he's already a white male, so he's already
it's already In this case, he's already the wokest of woke white males. Anyway,
what helps though is that he never tried to give in to any one side. The big problem is when you try to play both sides, because that's how you lose absolutely everyone, basically.
Well, he could be our Peter Pumpkinhead. He could be the guy that brings everybody together and we go, okay, you know what? This is enough. The more they keep going after this guy for no good fucking reason. Because what has he done to hurt anybody other than divorce his wife? Right?
Like Alan Rickson, the guy that plays in Reacher.
Mm-hmm.
I think he kind of had the same sort of same fandom, and then he starts coming out bashing the police. He starts coming out bashing Trump. It's like, I don't know if his agent told him that would be a good idea or what. And Alan was in the same boat. I mean, he had been talking about his Christian faith and some other stuff. So I think he started out with that same sort of appreciation or grace or fandom as Chris Pratt, and then he just bumbled it entirely. And I think the numbers for Reacher been indicative of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he'd really harmed that series with his public statements.
I think
Because
so.
he has he has one image from his character, Alan the Reacher.
Yep.
Not Alan Reacher, but just Reacher, and
Jack Reacher,
then
yep.
Jack Reacher. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then the public person, and then his actual self coming out as this virtue signaler, which is the complete opposite. Someone who needs to get a beating from Reacher. I mean,
I agree.
It's too
It's
jarring.
stupid.
I mean, it's really because that you're now asking a lot of the.
It would be like
Reacher
Kevin
audience.
Costner. It'd be like Kevin Costner, even though I'm pretty sure he's a lefty,
Oh yeah.
but he plays a righty so much on Yellowstone. Like
Yeah.
that would have been worse for the show had instead of him leaving, him coming out and did some major Trump thing. He would have turned off more of his audience
He
outside
kind
of
of
that.
did. He actually came out saying
He did
supported
after the
Liz
fact.
Cheney. Was okay
Yeah.
because I think he was.
Was it after the fact? I thought it was after he was already off the show, though.
I don't know. I think it was when they were talking about voting Liz Cheney out in
Was it?
Arizona or wherever, and she did lose.
Because I know he's a lefty, but he played like obviously.
Yeah, he kept a low profile with his politics for a long
Yeah,
time.
because what's his face on the show? The Dutton character he plays, he's definitely a right
Oh, yeah.
winger.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would have turned off a lot of the Midwest had he done something like that when he was on the show. Maybe
think about it.
have to
Even all
check
the
into that.
Marvel people came out. All the Marvel stars, Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, all of them came out and made.
They did official Marvel events.
The only one who wasn't there was Chris Pratt and
Yep.
a couple of the others, and that was it.
Yep.
And the lesson is keep your private life private.
And look at the Marvel domestic take now. I mean, come on. It's
I would say keep your privates private.
There's that too.
no.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
You're
Accident
welcome.
Seller. It says, panel, do you agree the Lionsgate logo intro with the orchestra of Starfield circa 2013-ish is the best of the modern-ish intros?
Oh, I'd have to.
Music and majestic and build suspense.
Uh,
Now it's been the Gear logo now for how many years?
yeah. Well, there was also like the actual opening of the Doors logo, depending on.
Yeah, that's where it
which-
leads into the gears and all that shit.
What
Yeah.
you know? What as a fan of logos and design, I think generally the worst branding are all the different studios that come up in the beginnings of the movie. I am constantly amazed at how bad the stuff is. Interesting. Orion was not too bad. Orion Pictures, but most of them are just dreadful. Like it's so
I like
because they're-
DreamWorks.
they're in a-
DreamWorks was pretty good.
yeah, DreamWorks was okay. Pixar, of
Universal
course,
was
good.
always pretty good. I always liked Paramount. I would say Warner Brothers had the best.
Hollywood Pictures was fun.
I always like Columbia.
Columbia
that's
was
a
nice.
classic.
That's classic. That's classic.
That's
But
classic.
Disney destroyed
Yeah.
probably one of the most iconic ones of all time right here.
That's true. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was the travesty.
20th Century Frog.
Yeah, just keep it.
Yeah.
Fun. Whatever.
But no, I always was partial to the Warner fucking shield. I always thought that meant something special.
Actually,
too.
Universal. Yeah, you know, as you said,
Universal was always a fun one, too.
Dun, dun. Yeah, that always got me going. Yeah, Universal's pretty good.
Yeah, and they changed quite a bit throughout the years.
Yeah, they had United Artists, which I never liked.
You know, the Universal one. You know, I remember that when I went to the theater to see Waterworld, the Universal logo comes out, and then the logo disappears, and then it zooms in on the Earth, and you see the water taking over the entire planet of the logo of Universal before it fades into. I always thought that was kind of cool. That was kind of neat.
One of my favorite
Yeah, I'm not a
pieces
fan of
of
New Line.
I actually always liked New Line. Not the original OG one where it was just the words New Line Cinema, but the actual film frame with the bent.
That always told me it was going to be a horror movie. Every time I saw that, I assumed
That
it
or
was going to be
Ninja
a horror
Turtles,
movie.
yeah. Yeah, Freddy,
Yeah.
Critters. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of everyone who haven't done so already, do check out our most recent video on the rights issues plaguing Freddy Krueger. That's a hoot.
Oh yes.
That might be something for you to check out, Chris.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's keep rolling here. We got Marksman 11-7B says Mark is wrong on King of Spies with Pierce, or working on
Okay.
King of Spies with Pierce.
Cool.
Actually, yeah. In the background here, in the meantime, it was discovered by Scribe that yes, Netflix does have the rights. In fact, they already seemingly have been moving along with this, and it sounds like you know this as well. So There you go.
Apparently, it was either a Netflix Miller project from the get go.
I did it first.
Yeah, and that was
It
2021.
published through Image, but Netflix was backing his graphic novels ever since 2017. It turns out.
Gotcha. Okay, so it was a go
And
forward.
it was probably
deal,
part of the
Gotcha.
deal that anything he made was theirs going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
And so it sounds like that might be actually a thing already. Daniel Pine says woke is some are more equal than others. Yes.
Yeah, very Animal Farm.
Yes. Oh God, don't even get started on that. What Seth Rogen did to that.
Oh gosh.
Let's not.
You don't want a Pixar style animated kids movie based on Animal Farm?
From Seth Rogen.
Made by people who don't understand the original novels.
It was a novel?
Well, he did so good with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Fuck you, sir.
Moving on.
Yeah, I can't believe they're still going forward with that shit. If I was David Ellison, I'd be scrapping that shit. But anyhow, Jason Webster says Chris Pratt Chris Pratt said we shouldn't be Andre, you want to read this? I'm having Porky Pig moment.
Certainly, but then you have to read the others because I have to drop out here. Jason Webster says for $5 Chris Pratt said we shouldn't be demonizing and canceling anyone because of political beliefs, as there are good people on both sides. It's a very Trumpian thing to say.
There's good
Reference.
people on both sides. And then Jason Webster says politics ages you. Just ask any politician. Oh yeah, I seen that. See any president. Soul Nightmare says Superman's at 597 with international updates. It's
international updates, yeah.
Oh yeah, it probably is. Yeah, I heard it is over 600 already, or will be today. Also, keep in mind Batman Begins made less than Batman 89. Oh, by far. Well, and that was because of similar situations. You had some people that were unaware that it was a reboot. You had people that were played out on Batman and Robin and other things at that point. Like, we had kind of hit some skids before already with superhero movies. People need to remember this. The 90s and the early aughts had their moments where they kind of fell off again here and there, and then something would come about and reinvigorate them. Right? So.
Yep. I don't want to be disagreeable here, but Soul Nightmare, where are we getting 597 million without international for this movie?
He means
without international updates
this weekend. Yeah.
So basically, he's meaning that the international number is still like a week out of date. So the
so it is currently with the full global box office is at 597.
Yes,
it is, but they haven't done the weekend update yet for the international numbers, is what he's saying. And this is another thing I ran into with TMNT. I'm trying to find out because I've seen that it said that it broke into the top 10. But I can't find it in the top 10, so I don't know if it just hasn't updated yet or what the deal is.
Okay. Well, I thank you for that correction. And Soul Nightmare, I appreciate it.
And because I've been sent, I don't know how many pictures of people now for this next weekend for TMNT that have been sold out already. Now that people are aware it's out in theaters. Because they added more dates to it. Because I guess it was doing pretty well. So there you go.
Excellent.
I was kind of upset because my screening didn't have very many people in it. It was just me and another guy and his kid. That was it. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not good. Yeah. So I was like, well, whatever. And then everybody kept sending me things. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's doing a little better. And then when Monday we didn't see it in the top 10, I'm like, well, it might not have done as well as I thought. Then somebody sent me a story about it being in the top 10. And I'm like, but I'm not seeing it anywhere. So I'm like, well, maybe they just haven't updated everything yet. I don't know. So
I'm wondering how the Toxic Avenger is going to do next week.
Shitty.
Or if it will tell us that superhero movies are dead.
Here's the problem with that. I think it's set to go on streaming. It's kind of like that Red Sonja thing. I think it's set to go on streaming like 2 weeks. I think after it's theaters. Or something
it's set up to fail.
Yeah, it's set up to fail. Basically.
Red Sonja.
Oh yeah,
both Red Sonja and Toxic Avenger.
Maybe they should do a crossover.
I think. I think this version of Red Sonja already went on streaming 4 years ago, and we just missed it.
Maybe.
You're probably right.
Before it was filmed, that's pretty impressive.
Glade Ribbon says, I'd love to see Chato just rip that new MSN Now logo to shreds. Yeah, so what's this whole thing with them dropping the NBC bit?
Yeah, they're spinning off MSNBC away from NBC News. and they're changing the logo. The rebranding was terrible. When I saw that, I thought to myself, that sounds like a 70s glamour magazine.
Yeah, well, or women's magazine. It's Now magazine,
and
right?
Yeah, and I cooked that up, and I thought, can anybody tell the difference that this is legitimate? So I thought, Miss Now, September 75. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that tell me how to get rid of menstrual smells?
Now, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. Their discussion, what went through their mind.
Menstrual
So
odor.
obviously, Microsoft is detached from the brand a long time ago. But what was it that was important to keep the MS? Because they all have multiple sclerosis. I don't know.
MSN was the two thing that was the thing they had to keep, and so
But like
owl,
you just said that
it's really about the owl.
I got
don't
something
get
to
it.
show you. I'll be right back.
Oh, we lost Andre.
So there's
because I have no idea what's going on with this Mark Hamill story.
Oh, the Mark Hamill thing. Oh, he's not moving out of the U.S. and he's blaming his wife.
Oh,
yeah.
I see that.
So when Kamala Harris and Donald Trump were running against each other, he said, if Donald Trump wins or Kamala Harris loses, I'm going to move out of the country.
Gotcha,
and
yeah.
then people were like, you haven't moved out of the country. And then he said, oh, well, my wife told me if you do that, you're basically letting Trump win. He's like, okay. So he's hiding behind his wife for his own hypocrisy. That's all it is.
So I have some history with MSN
Uh-oh.
because I was a new media
Show and tell
maven
time.
back in the day.
oh yes.
So I went to the rollout for MSN. So this was back in the day when it was dial-up. It was Prodigy.
No wonder it took you so long to go get that bag.
That's right. It was Prodigy versus what was the big one? God damn it! There was CompuServe.
There was Prodigy. There was CompuServe. There was
the ones that kept
was
sending,
AOL.
AOL, yes, AOL, and so Microsoft. Just pre-internet, actually, the internet saved us from Microsoft taking over dial-up and the dedicated the dedicated communication services online. That is, no one talks about how the internet saved us from Microsoft dominating everything online and making it all proprietary. So this MSN originally was the dial-up competitor to AOL. So we went to the big rollout. There were like thousands of people, food served, things like that, and you got fancy bags like this. So then eventually, when the internet saved our asses, and I can't remember who it was, but the person who figured out how to make sure that once you made the connection and you got all your pictures onto your computer, then the connection to the internet would stop. Like it would right now it's on all the time, but if you go to a web page, generally speaking, except for all the cookies, now you're always constantly being pinged. But back in the day, that was what survived. But that's what made the internet is that the connection would stop until you made another request, and then that cut down the amount of traffic. Here's your science news for the day, kids.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Lizard.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I apologize for that. I go into those tangents.
That was neat, though. And MSN, it was part of the whole MSNBC sort of at the beginning. It was its own entity, but it was.
Then it evolved into that. They kept the name.
Yes.
Right.
And then NBC and Microsoft got together to do MSNBC as part. Well, I think that was also part of the original MSN Online too. They wanted to be connected with a legitimate news service. So it's going back quite a way. So they maintained the name. Now I don't see the point of keeping MS, apart from the fact that maybe they did the research and found that there is some good memory connections to it. But MS now, I guess, again, logos and names often get ridiculed at the very beginning, and then you get comfortable with them later on. I would say that because I was in the logo development business for an awful long time, most people hate the branding at the very beginning, and then they get comfortable with it. So whether people, it's very bland. The typeface, everything is really, really bland. There's really nothing logo-ish about it. Yeah, it really feels like something that would be appropriate for the View, like the NBC version of the View would be MS Now.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like Now.
I don't either. I think they lose a lot of their brand recognition. What little credibility they had, I think, has been weakened by this.
You'd think they should keep the name?
MSNBC or MS Now?
No, MSNBC. You think they should be keeping that?
Well, I think NBC and Peacock just want to get away from. I think it's just become toxic. And you've seen them fire Joy Reid. You've seen them let go of quite a number of quote unquote talents over there who are
talents. Yeah, thank you.
Who are extremely divisive people. I mean, just saying the most ludicrous things, and it's become sort of just a feeder or a trough for TDS sufferers.
Well, look.
But Comcast they're trying to separate their online with the cable with their broadcast.
Right.
That's just what they're doing. This is a business decision.
I'll say what nobody else is saying, just like Brad Pitt and Inglourious Basterds. When you go home, you get to take off that uniform. Now, that don't set too well with me.
Yeah.
Just because you think you can change your fucking name doesn't mean it changes who you are. You're still a Nazi.
Well, and I don't even understand the whole MS. Why are they? Why is it?
I don't get it.
MS. I think it feels like they're just afraid to completely lose.
Yeah.
The old branding.
That's my question.
Yeah. Yeah. It's MSN. I mean, it was originally MSN, as Paul said back in the day, and so they retained those 3 letters, but then they have to find out something else to do with it to make it separate from MSNBC, and so now it's MSN Ow. And
I think you're right.
It feels like it's just going to, so they're retaining the sort of memory of those 3 letters at least to lead you into this new product, or at least some kind of recognition. The question is, like, what are they going to do? What is their own identity going to be? Are they just going to embrace TDS 24/7? Or I feel like it's going to turn into some kind of like, broadcast Air America kind of thing where it's only going to be niche for people that want to hear themselves talk, and it's going to die out.
Well, it's already been that, but
yeah, exactly. I would be surprised if this thing, in its current form, even after its rebranding, lasts 3 years. If it goes anywhere beyond 3 years before going bankrupt or being sold to somebody else or something, I'll be honestly surprised.
I think the MS is supposedly an internal document says that MS stands for misinformation spreaders. So if you're looking for misinformation, go to MS Now. The logo even kind of looks, dare I call it, Republican? It's kind of meh, right?
They're trying to be more neutral. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to hide what they used to be.
Yeah,
but
sorry,
but I'm with Mecca
your
J.
Brad Pitt quote is applicable. Yeah,
I think they are. And Mecca J, I think you're right. They should have just added a P in front of that.
PMS Now, love it.
And then just hired the View crew and get it over with. But no.
Well, it's funny. I saw some clips from the Morning Joe Schmo the day after or the morning this was announced or whatever. And boy, the cope and the cringe was, it's worth watching if you haven't watched the show before, but you can just look up Joe Scarborough reacts to MS Now name change.
You know what? They would have been better with just, I think with what Scribe Light mentioned, just MSN.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that, and whatever that has to mean otherwise, but
it doesn't matter.
Maybe they weren't allowed to keep it. Maybe that's a brand still owned by Microsoft.
But then it's ambiguous and kind of sounds like where they came from, but different from what they have now because the BC part has been taken off, and that would have had some good memory recognition. Just MSN.
Yeah, that would have been the simplest thing to do. But they probably Microsoft probably owns it.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I got to split, guys. Unfortunately, I got to get back to the wonderful.
All right. But, well, thanks for being here, Scribe. And anything to say about Mark Hamill as you're on your way?
No. Just when I read the article about his excuse for why he hasn't moved out of America, he was hiding behind his wife. He made this declaration before the election and said he was going to move out of America if Trump won. And people asked him, well, what are you still doing here? And he said, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, he says, well, my wife told me that, if I move, they'll be letting Trump win or driving me out. Like, okay, well, first off, you're not the center of the universe. Trump isn't targeting you to try to get you out of the country. I mean, you're obviously Mark Hamill. You're Trump's biggest enemy. In the whole world.
I'm not a fan of Gutfield, but there's a recent episode of Gutfield where he goes through a whole bunch of Trump achievements and just asks the very simple question: if the Democrats got into power, which of these achievements would they retract? Which ones? Yeah, ending crime in DC. Okay, maybe we don't want to end that. Zero people coming over the border. No, maybe we want to keep that. He just
Right.
6 countries are now have ended war. Should we start them back up again?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't know.
Well, we obviously have to pour Clorox into the kids' cereal. That's the only way.
it was,
Um,
it was a very funny piece.
Issues, does he
But,
not? Good grief.
yeah.
What do you got going on, Scribe?
So
Yeah.
tomorrow, Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, is the next TED Excellence. I'm debating between what subject to go over. Here are some of my options. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. How to turn AI prompts into movie magic. Now, I actually kind of want to do that one with Script Doctor if I can get him on at some point. I'd be curious to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
The mirror in the classroom. Why black male teachers matter. Why I never gave up with 6 kids at 22. Which I tried to do the math on that as to if she had 6 kids by the age of 22. I hope she had 3
I
sets
hope
of
this
twins.
is a Brady Bunch situation. Yeah, what the fuck?
And lastly, maybe not leastly, what if your dog could FaceTime you?
Oh boy.
I don't know. What if my dog could?
I can tell you what
would happen
90%
then?
of them will say. When are you coming home to feed me?
Just so you know, with regards to AI and doing productions, I am playing with Showrunner.
Ooh. Well, you have to let us know how that turns out. I've
You
been
need to
talking
get
about
that
Paul
is.
and Script Doctor on that.
Yeah, I should get Paul and
tech-tarded.
Script Doctor around. We can do the
Well,
TEDx on that
I'm
one.
going to keep working at it, but as someone who can write the entire thing, and voice good chunks of it, to me, I find it very intriguing.
All right. Well, anyway,
I like
guys,
the idea
yeah,
about the black teacher, Scribe.
Yeah, well, that one,
specifically.
yeah, I was looking at that because that's a subject I've covered a lot in my in my channel over the years. Is the whole idea of you can't be it if you don't see it, and somehow having a teacher of a particular appearance immediately improves your academic performance. I've had that told to me many times, but anyway, I will decide between now and tomorrow which one I'm going to do. But I'll probably hold on to the AI movie magic one until I can get Script Doctor and or Paul on to be the subject matter experts for that one if I could.
Yes.
But we'll see. It's not going anywhere. But I am going. So guys, thanks for having me on. Everybody in the chat, have a good rest of your Wednesday. Chris, Tom, Paul, and Andre in absentia. I'll see you guys on
Loved
Friday.
it, Scribe. See you, pal.
Take care.
Hey, I got to bail too. I wanted
Oh.
to mention that I did meet Mark Hamill. He hasn't always been insane. He used to be quite normal.
Mhm.
He used to be quite normal.
All right, we'll check out Bleeding Fool, and I guess it's up to me and you.
Don't
Paul,
leave
to
me
finish
with
this out.
don't leave me with Tom.
No, you
Yeah,
guys
we're
fight it
alone
out. You guys fight it out.
That means I got to come on camera. He's gonna gripe.
I'll try to get back on here Friday. I got a 2:00 meeting. So
No,
guys,
do it.
bleedingpool.com. Appreciate the added views and clicks that we got today. Thanks, everybody.
Take care. So yeah, honestly, Mark hiding behind his wife, that's such a fucking cuck move. That was my wife. Yeah. I didn't even really know he said anything until the other day, and I didn't really care. I think he's probably more upset that Trump hasn't said shit about him yet. Wasn't such a big fan of the Star Wars. That Mark Hamill, failed actor in the Star Wars. Didn't watch it. Didn't see the new one. Heard it sucked.
I still think you guys have to understand that Trump, having been a member of the acting community, this is still a shock to everyone in Hollywood who thinks, well, Trump.
It's like
is a
we've never
moron.
had an actor as a president before.
No, well, I mean, yeah, people had very brutal things to say about Reagan also.
But they didn't treat him with this much disrespect. Trump's right about that.
No, there were moments I recall
He was
that
treated with some, but
they were
like
pretty,
not
they
to
were
this-
pretty, no. Listen, but Trump is more of a carny barker.
Right.
So
True.
that's the difference. Reagan only played with his chimp. So there's a big difference there. And yeah, he's a very odd duck. And I would say that for the most part, the Trump that we're seeing now is a completely unexpected Trump. Because he's also pissing off an awful lot of Republicans who do want to be able to get into the Pelosi, person change to be able to do trading back. What's it called? Insider trading. There's an awful lot of Republicans who have gotten rich over the decades through being a politician, and Trump is pissing those guys off. So he's a very odd person. I mean, in some ways he's more like Thatcher, in the sense that he doesn't care what people think. I don't think he, there's obviously certain people he cares what they think about him, but like we are seeing in the UK right now with the sex scandal, for the last couple of decades, why weren't the Conservatives doing something about it? Well, it's because they were as involved with it as the Labour Party was. All the politicians were more interested in just feathering their bed because they're politicians. I mean, politicians are in the business of staying in power. They do some legislative things and then they stop. And that's one of the angers in the UK. That's why they've got the Reform Party that's maybe taking over. So, and here Trump is kind of like the Reform Party. He's not a Republican. There's lots of Republicans who don't like him. So, I mean, it's interesting. And then there's the America First group that want America out of all wars, period.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting time. But like I said, I think Hollywood still remembers him as the person who what was his show on NBC? You're Fired. The Apprentice. I think that's the limit that a lot of people have in Hollywood of his skill and talent. He's still just doing The Apprentice. They're not getting that he's actually the president of the United States.
Well, Donald Trump has always kind of been a character.
Yes.
Right? Like that's the thing that people never understood. And I kind of finally came around to and understood here in the last few years is that like Paul Rubens doing Pee Wee Herman, there's Donald Trump, the person, and there's Donald Trump, the persona.
I think they're merging now, though.
They are to a point,
yeah.
But like, this is now I kind of see him more serious this time out. Last time he was kind of just like,
yeah, well, what a job. I mean, I think he was out of his league. He's not going to get caught in the back of a theater. Let's just say.
No, I mean, not in that respect, but I mean, in a sense that, just like having kind of like a persona out there is even kind of like you and I do kind of on this show here in a way. But Toga Free says that Good Boy reminds me of the Cowardly Dog, great cartoon. The episode with Courage's parents traumatized me, and You're Not Perfect Guy. I do remember some of these, but I haven't seen a bunch of them.
I don't know anything.
My kid watched them.
I'm not going to watch a horror dog movie.
Yeah, the Good Boy one. Thunderstorm says, how will the industry cope when Spider-Man crushes nice profit not being woke DEI?
Where I think the industry has already factored that in now. We're on our way out of this. We're going to get pockets of stupidity, but no one is now going to go, oh my God, that was so brave of them to not be woke.
Well, this is assuming that the new Spider-Man film is woke, which it could very well be. I don't know.
After the last one? No, I don't think so.
But then again, I maintain the only reason the last one wasn't probably more woke than it would be is because they had to rush it. And didn't have
and it's Sony. It's a Sony movie, right?
They have some control over, but as far as the creative side, they all come from the Marvel house, but we'll see. Accident Seller says the new Lionsgate theatrical logo 2013 HD on YouTube is exactly the Lionsgate version I'm talking about. Get goosebumps every time. I'm pretty sure I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, I like their earlier ones better than their more recent ones is my point I was getting at. But yeah. Jason Webster says my daughter is a zombie has already hit profitability theatrically. The same thing can't be said nearly every Hollywood blockbuster released this year.
But depends on what you're calling profitability. I mean, you've got the bean counters at these large studios. They want to hit them out of the park. They don't want to be hitting singles all year.
Yeah. But no, I haven't seen much about this movie, but I have heard it's done very well and good for them. Snarky Distinct says Chris Pratt is 10 times the star Mark Hamill ever was or will be.
Yeah, because Chris Pratt can open a movie and Mark Hamill can't. He's, apart from Star Wars and some bit voice work, He's a
He's-
popular individual, but he's never been a movie star, and per se in the sense of someone who can do multiple characters over the years and open multiple movies.
No, after Star Wars, the only movie he had of any note, besides The Wraith, which is like a more of a cult classic than anything, was Corvette Summer, and that's because it's a punchline,
Yeah,
right? Because it bombed so badly. Yeah,
I remember. I enjoyed Corvette Summer.
it has its moments, but it was like that's the only other thing he's done of any real.
Yeah,
note
and
at
that
one
was
point.
between movies, right? That was between
Yeah.
the first and second movie. Yeah.
First and
that
second
was
Star Wars. Yeah.
First and second Star Wars.
Otherwise, he's done just supporting roles and voice work.
But on the other hand, he's made so much money; it's not necessary for him to do anything.
Oh
else.
yeah, he probably does pretty well off Star Wars residuals.
Oh, for sure.
Bucky Cat says Trump has never mentioned Hamill once, according to Marvin Montanaro. I wouldn't be surprised. There's no reason for him to.
He doesn't. Trump has never mentioned me.
He never mentioned Chato. But no, like Trump is one of those guys where do I think things bother him? Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God!
But I think that he's even sued people over stupid shit. But I think that he's got enough people around him now to tell him to just chill the fuck out. That's why I think we heard there was some bullshit that came out of him with the South Park thing, but I don't, outside of this one statement, I don't think there was really anything else that came out. And then Vance leaned into it. So I'm sure if it wasn't Vance himself or somebody else told them, like, just lean into this shit, guys. Show them you can take a fucking joke and they'll leave you alone.
Oh, you're talking about the South Park thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vance did. Vance had fun with it.
And watch, I bet you they don't even pick on him as much next time, or they double down on it and just make it goofier, and Vance is just gonna giggle about it.
So why have we missed out on 2 weeks worth of South Park?
Because the delay initially, and then this last week was pre-planned already to be a celebration of the first episode.
Okay.
So yeah, what ended up happening is they already had a break built in, and then last week was already a set thing, so it ended up with 2 weeks without one. So that's what happened there. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, Trump got him off the air. Trump got him off the air," and it's like, no, that's not what happened, guys. Anyway, so yeah, I think I think Hamill would love it if Trump would just mention his name. Daniel Pine says the last 2 films of Animal Farm were better. Oh, I'm sure they will be, without a doubt. Because they clearly don't get what they're making with this. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about.
I saw the trailer. It's terrible.
Yeah. Jesus Davila gifted 5 memberships. Thank you for that. And DS Ford 880 has been a member for 45 months. Thank you. Pack and Proton says poor Chevy Chase is being dragged out by his handlers at 81 to do meet and greets. Can't remember most of the answers to the questions he gets. That or he probably just because
I saw him at I saw the tape on FanFest, and he was reunited with the
National
Christmas Vacation, Christmas Vacation cast, and that was great. That was a nice moment. They all seemed to be nice to each other. People tried to take individual stills of the different actors, trying to show, oh, look at how grim they are. People want to turn everything into trash.
Yeah, I mean, I've known some people who saw him in recent years, and he seems to be really.
He's lost weight.
Yeah. Look, I know he's an asshole. I've heard from several people he's an asshole. I've heard tons of horror stories about him.
Yep.
I know he's aware of it. He may have been changing his ways a little bit over the last few years. You're never too old to kind of stop being an asshole sometimes. Then again, you could be Paul Chato.
Listen, I've told people that one of the saddest moments in my life was not being successful enough to be the full asshole I always wanted to be.
I can tell that's what you really wanted.
I was so looking forward to go full Hiroshima asshole, and it just my success was not adequate enough to be able to get there. Like, it's so sad.
I could have seen you wielding that power.
But I would have been devastating. Like, oh my, it would have
Godzilla devastating.
Delicious. Sure. Yes.
You'd have been like, what's his face in Entourage? Or
I never saw Entourage.
Oh, you never seen?
No, it's on. It was never on a service I could watch it on.
You might enjoy it because of the Hollywood politics stuff. Sure. It's loosely based on Mark Wahlberg's career.
Yep. Yeah, he was an executive producer on that show, I think.
Yeah, it was all his show, but like the guy that what the hell's the actor's name? People help me out in the chat. The guy who played Ari.
Perrin?
Uh,
Perrin?
no, what the hell's his name? It's got a P in it. You're not wrong. Trying to think of his damn name.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was based on the real Ari. What's his face? The real guy, and all that stuff. So like that's Ari Gold was the name in the show, but I'm trying to remember Jeremy Piven. Jeremy
Piven, yes, who I never liked anyway.
Fuck, that'd be the kind of guy you'd be.
Yeah, probably.
But as far as Chevy forgetting the answers, it's not so much that he's old. I think it's just because he's lied so many times about the answers. He probably forgot the truth. That's the problem with Chevy. Is he's made so much shit up over the years.
Oh, I don't know.
And a lot of it's just to get a laugh. But I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm sure he's come to a point where he's like, wait a minute. He's like, just totally forgot. But then again, I've heard stories where he'll go to dinner with you, and if you say you like certain things in a movie, even if he's not part of it, he's like, oh, well, that was my idea. They stole it from me. He's good at doing that.
Again, it depends on, you have to check to find out what his bank account is and whether he needs the money for any of these things. So that changes the way a person approaches stuff, right? You go, well,
yes,
the person's famous, but suddenly we're seeing him a lot or her a lot. And maybe, they had a bad investment and now or John Cleese having to do endless tours just to pay off his alimony.
Yeah. Well, and Chevy has done himself no favors, right? In the 90s, he pushed himself to the point where he was such an asshole that nobody wanted to work with him anymore. Yeah. And when he did get his comeback, he pushed himself to the point where he was an asshole where nobody wanted to work with him anymore.
You know what? It's a delicate balance in Hollywood because sometimes if you're not an asshole, then the producer, director, the people, the production company, they're going to take advantage of you. There's a lot of distrust between the actors and the producers of shows and movies. Rarely is the advantage on the side of the actor.
Right.
So to be an asshole sometimes.
Well, and in Chevy's defense,
it has its benefits.
He had his ego blown up so badly when he first came on the scene, and that's something that in that book that I'm going through now that they talk about, because he came in as and he was part of National Lampoons and all that kind of business.
Fletch was supposed to be huge.
But when I'm talking more earlier than that, when he came on an SNL, he was the only one that had a 1-year contract. The rest of them had 5-year contracts.
Oh, I see.
See, and not only that, everybody was saying he was going to be the next heir apparent to Carson. He was the next big thing. Like everybody was talking about.
He had a talk show too, didn't he?
He did, and it bombed, and that's the reason why Carson he was off the list as soon as he did that. And same, that's why Joan Rivers get fucked up too, or she would have been the next choice. And that's how Leno basically ended up with him. It was going to be either Chevy or Joan, but they both fucked up, and then Letterman left because Carson told him there's no chance.
Joan left. Joan fucked up by going to Fox.
That's what I'm saying. And Chevy did the same exact thing. So yeah. But anyhow, as far as his career, I mean, as far as these fan greets, I mean, they do pretty good from what I hear. They get paid pretty well. So
listen, whatever bad things we have to say about Chevy, the lineup is huge to talk with him, and the fact that he's lost weight, he looked good. It was fun with him meeting up with god damn it, his nephew or his wife's nephew with the who had the metal piece in his head, Randy Quaid.
Oh
yeah, man, it was nice. You know what? As crazy as both those guys are, it was really neat to see them together and smiling together.
Randy has really calmed down a lot in the last few years compared to what
he's cut down on eating the squirrels because of the cholesterol.
I was going to say he went through some crazy shit. I mean, I know he's still a little bit.
I don't know if he's living in BC anymore. He was.
I think he's moved back to the U.S.
I see. Okay.
I think. I don't know for sure.
I can ask
but
ChatGPT.
He's been to a bunch of these fan events, which is surprising because he did have a warrant out for his arrest.
Yes.
I think that was just in California. And I don't think it was like on any federal level or anything like that. But then he ran off to Canada.
Yeah. Lived in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And did that video where he's fucking his wife and all that other weird shit. But like,
I didn't see that. Okay.
You didn't see that one? Yeah. He went a little nuts there for a while. And I think he's finally come off of whatever drug it was he was on at the time. Anyway, he seems to have gotten a little bit of his faculties back, is my point. But anyhow, yes. So thanks, guys, for that. Let me double check the Rumble side. I didn't see anything over there before, just in case I didn't want to miss anything. But thank you for hanging out with me, Paul. It's always fun, especially get to talk comedy with you because you're one of the few people who knows anything about this.
It's
stuff.
interesting. We're having this one-on-one is like Midnight's Club Random. We've never done that before. It's always 4 people is not bad, but sometimes
I think we've been
one-on-one
one-on-one a few times, but not like for very long. Usually, no.
Well, it's not very memorable to me.
Must not be. But anyhow, since Andre's not here, you want to say koalas in the rain thing?
Yes. I can't do his accent, but now bye, folks. It's time for Koalas in the Rain.
Check out Call Me Chato and Appalling News. Take care, guys.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain. No fucks.
Thank you, Melvin Scotch, for the super chat. Says awesome to have Paul on. Yes, it is.
Koalas in the rain.
Now they can hear you, Paul.
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Good. You want me to say something?
You don't have to.
Do I need to talk over these credits?
We don't have to.
Okay. I'll
Love you,
stop.
bud.
Now to put some cream on.